Salut. One day you just see someone speaking French, speaking fluently, and you try to speak, and then you find yourself making a lot of mistakes, and you're like, how does he do it, or how do they do it? And you're like, where is the mistake? Where is the problem? If you are encountering such a thing, then you're not alone, because French is a game, and you have to know the rules of the game for you to play it. You can go to a war, but if you don't have the right tactics, you don't have the right weapons, then you cannot win the war, despite how much hardworking you are. That's why today I just want to tell you the things that are making you not to speak that French that you want to speak. First of all, you have to know them, and you have to know them clearly for you to figure out what you are doing in French. So today, learner, we are going to look at the things that you really need to master for you to speak that French, to write that French. Number one, you have to master gender. Because in French you'll meet gender when it comes to pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, articles, objects, subjects. You'll meet gender. You'll have to know exactly what you're doing. So gender is a must in French. You'll have to just accept that you'll need gender so much. If you want to master gender very well and what it entails to know what gender is all about in French, subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll find all the tools you need in gender. That's one. Two, you need your auxiliaries. What are auxiliaries? Auxiliaries are helping verbs. Even in other languages like English, they're there. So you need to master your auxiliaries very well. It's a weapon. Because if you don't know your auxiliaries, you'll have a problem when you are conjugating verbs, especially the verbs of movement, the verbs that are reflexive. So you have to know how to master your two auxiliaries. That is être, which means to be, and avoir, which means to have. You'll have to know how to conjugate them in the present for you to be able to use them when you are conjugating verbs. Three, you need to know the groups of verbs in French. So we have group 1, we have group 2, and then we have group 3. You really have to know how to conjugate them. You need to know the root of each and every group of verbs. That is what we call le radical, that is the root. Then you have to know the endings, la terminaison of those verbs when they are being conjugated in all the tenses. That is the present, présent, futur, imparfait, plus qu'au parfait, subjunctive, and other tenses. Because if you don't do that, then French will be a nightmare to you. You really have to learn them by heart, because there is no particular formula that you'll use that is perfect to learn those. 4, context. What is context? Context is when someone is speaking and you really have to know what that person is saying. And how will you master context? You'll really master context by being keen on the conversation. Because if you miss the conversation, you'll not know exactly what that person is saying. For instance, we have nous parlons. If someone says in French, nous parlons, he may mean two different things. Nous parlons to mean we speak to ourselves. We speak to ourselves. Or nous parlons to mean we speak to each other. So, how will you know that? By being keen. If he says, il parle français, it means he speaks French. And also, if he says, il parle français, it may mean they speak French, but masculine. But now, how will you know that? You look at what he has been speaking or what he has been talking about before you reach that level. So that is 4. 5, la liaison. La liaison in French is how words link when they follow each other. How can I tell this in English? Like, for example, the way I've said the word, for example. You don't say, for example, you say, for example. So in French also, it's deeper. For example, you say, je suis un garçon, je suis une fille. You don't say, je suis un garçon, je suis une fille. No, you have to link the word. There's that link that you really need, and that link is very important. That's why if you speak without knowing the link, you'll have a problem. Number 6, we have the punctuation. Punctuation, if you look at French letters, you'll see some letters having funny marks. For example, an E will have some accent, an accent, accent aigu, accent grave. So when those accents and those words, they have a meaning, they are significant, they will change the way that letter is pronounced. For example, if you look at the word me means but. It has an I, but it doesn't have anything. But if it has two dots on it, when it becomes mais, those two dots are called letrema. So if you don't know that, then you'll have confusions when you are pronouncing words. Then number 7, we have pronunciation. You'll have to master pronunciation. It's a weapon if you have it. How? You look at the way letters follow each other. They form a phonetic, a sound that you really need to know. For example, if you look at OI, if O and I is following each other, the two are following each other, the sound becomes wa. G and N, ny. You see? U, when U is alone, it becomes U, like bew, girl, bew. Then we have O and U, it becomes U, like boo, end. Then E and N becomes like Jean, people. Then letter R, when you see R, you just know it's R. So pronunciation is very vital. Then number 8 is the formal and the informal French. Just like any other languages that you know, people talk street slang, shortcuts. So don't be surprised when you are speaking and someone is like, what are you saying? Because in French you'll never hear someone saying je ne suis pas. That's very formal. In the streets you'll hear people say je suis pas, je suis pas, such like. So you'll have really to know those, because in so doing French will become your friend. You'll just flow with it because now you know the rules of the game. You have the right weapons. For more information, log on to my YouTube channel and see all this. Merci beaucoup et à bientôt.